The story and events you're about to hear unfold over the next few weeks are going to sound crazy, unbelievable. It won't even make sense. But how often does life make sense? So, what is this story? What are these events? Well, to answer that, we have to go to a town called Grover's Mill and the case of a missing person, Rodney Mealog. But first, I'm going to play you a recording of a statement I gave back in 2004 to the Metropolitan Police surrounding the case of a missing girl in Highbury, Islington, in London.
This interview is being recorded at Islington Police Station in London. It is now Monday, the 4th of December 2004 at 7:43 p.m. I am DC 3010 Paula Stewart, and the other police officer present is...
DC Dan Seymour 3819.
We are interviewing a Mr. Wilkie Poe in regards to the missing Barnsbury girl, Tara Walton. So, Mr. Poe, would you mind telling us why you're here?
Yeah, sure. I've worked with your branch a couple of times before, and I've always said that if I got any signs or signals, I'd come down right away.
Right.
And the other night, I saw the report on the TV.
The report about Tara?
Yeah, and as I was watching it, I got a strange feeling. You know, cold, very cold.
Was it a particularly cold night? I think I was wearing a jumper that night.
No, not really. I was inside. So anyway, it got colder and colder, so much so that I blacked out. And then I started getting the visions.
Visions? Like you were seeing things?
Yeah, that's right. Well, I saw the girl.
You Tara?
Yeah,
In your vision or in real life?
in the vision. She was in a longboat on a canal, a blue one, moored near some apartments with, like, a wooden facade. She's okay, but she's locked in that boat.
Right. So you got vision,
Yeah,
and that vision was of the missing girl, and she's in a boat on a canal somewhere.
that's right. So if I were you, I'd look for apartment buildings with wooden facades near a canal and check the longboats, maybe.
DC Seymour?
Oh, yeah, no problem. There's plenty of police resources to allow us to follow every single lead ever.
I'm being serious. Look, please check it out. I told you, I've worked with your branch before.
Is there anything else you want to tell us?
I know she's there.
We'll make a note of it.
As you heard, it wasn't easy to convince them at first, but a few days later, they found the girl in the boat. They were too late, though. The girl was dead. I bring this up for two reasons. One, this is what I do, and two, I thought this was as upsetting a case would ever get. I'm afraid on the second point, I was painfully wrong. So why me? Why do a podcast? Well, my name is Wilkie Poe, and I'm a forensic psychic. Forensic psychics don't usually get a good rap. As you heard, the police can sometimes be, well, shall we say, less than cooperative, on occasion with tragic results. So I thought it would be a fantastic opportunity to show what we do and how we can really help. I'm happy to tell you attitudes are finally changing, and to date I've worked on over 150 cases for the police in the UK and the US, and I've also been hired by the FBI and Interpol. I've seen countless crime scenes, read thousands of reports, and along the way I found myself becoming something of a private investigator. So, Grover's Mill. Well, it all started a few months ago when I got a call from a woman named Miranda Gambisi, who lives in West Windsor, New Jersey. This set off a chain of events that would consume me. As a private investigator, I record all conversations that come into my office.
Hello, Wilkie Poe.
Hey, is that Wilkie Poe? Wilkie Poe, you the Poe man?
Yeah, this is Wilkie Poe, yes.
Well, you gotta get down now to Grover's Mill. Check out what happened to young Rodney Mealog.
At this point, I'm not sure what she's on about, but Miranda goes into a long description of what she sees as an emergency.
I'm not saying this is some serial arrest-down kind of thing, it ain't of that nature, but Rodney, he just ain't around no more.
So-
Sure, he's up doing ecstasy and hanging with the wrong crowd and that, getting tattoos of dolphins humping each other and dyeing his hair blonde and all that, but that ain't no reason to knock him off.
So-
Not that I know that's what happened exactly, that's why I'm calling you.
Are you saying
But
that-
Rodney, he damn just right disappeared. sounds like that mouse I tried to hit with the iron the other day.
Okay, hang on. So you're saying someone's gone missing and you'd like my help?
Damn right it's gone missing. He done my hair. It's not there anymore. My hair's looking like that water tank down by our old preacher home. You see anything? Getting any visions of that?
Well, have the police been notified?
Yeah, they've been notified. Well, they put it down and maybe it run away or something. Just left this house and gone.
Right.
They're not too worried, but there are a lot of people who think something else is up. But there's blood in this house.
Sorry, what? There was blood in his house?
Yeah, that's what I just said, Wilkie. Do I need to repeat myself?
I should point out that I hear things like this all the time, and they're often just figments of people's imagination. You know, bored townspeople, rumours to keep things interesting. But something about the way Miranda was talking made me think that there was more to this. So I pressed her further.
All right, well, what else can you tell me? Do you know, did he have any enemies? Was he involved in anything obscure? Was he married? Did he have a lot of money? Do you know? Anything?
No, he's been married and all, but a couple of years ago they got divorced. She ended up doing that crazy CrossFit and getting into weird stuff, you know, dressing up like a Japanese schoolgirl kind of thing. People these days. No, Rodney, just leave it alone. You aren't rich or nothing, but he did have that one thing, that damn weird alien thing he said was priceless.
Alien thing?
Yeah, you know, from the movie, like the famous movie everyone talks about because of Grover's Mill.
I'm not really a movie buff, Miranda, sorry.
Well, he had this never-before-seen alien thing. He says it's given to his grandpapa or something, I don't know. But the guy that made that movie, he was always talking about how special it was, how much money it's worth, that kind of thing. Well, that'd be missing too.
Right, so what you're telling me is the only thing that's missing, apart from Rodney, is something to do with a film about aliens.
Damn right, Wilkie, damn right. So you gonna come down here and show this?
Look, I can understand you're worried, but can I just ask you, why did you call me?
Well, my cousin Bradley, he live off on Jeffers Road. Well, he be into UFOs and aliens and all that shit, and he likes to think he's gonna psychic.
Right.
He likes to think he can predict what clothes I'm gonna wear the next day. He almost always gets that wrong. I ain't even got no skinny jeans. Anyways, he read some of your books, and he be fading to your work.
Yeah.
He said to give you the call, since I've been the only one up here thinking this smells a little funny like JFK, you know what I mean?
Okay. Well, look, let me think about it, and I'll get back to you. All right? I need to be certain that this is genuine, because I get a lot of prank calls.
Well, you do your homework there, Wilkie, then you let me know. You can stay in the room out back here, nice and cozy for y'all.
Okay.
So there you have it. I start to do some research. It turns out that Grover's Mill was the setting for Orson Welles' 1938 radio play, The War of the Worlds. Whether that's the alien movie that Miranda referred to remains to be seen. Suffice to say, as far as the missing Rodney Mealog is concerned, I find nothing. No reports, no articles, not even a hint that anything untoward happened at Grover's Mill. So I put in a call to my longtime friend Dietrich. Now, I can't tell you his last name. Suffice to say he's Austrian, obviously, and he works in the international information business. We agree to meet in the local pub. As a matter of record, I tape every conversation that I have with a handheld digital recorder.
So I looked into this Rodney person. There's not much. Police files were standard, nothing unusual, a couple of admin errors, but nothing serious. I also looked into this Orson Welles thing, and it turns out it isn't an alien artifact or whatever. It's an original recording that Orson Welles did himself. There have been rumors flying around that it existed, but it never surfaced. Apparently on the tape, Orson goes on a bit of a rant, and a new idea for a film emerges from this rant. So this recording, well, your man has it somehow, and he tried to sell it on the dark web for almost $1 million.
He tried to sell the War of the Worlds thing online.
Yeah, he tried, but the buyers only want to pay $500,000. He agrees, but then he changes his mind. The buyer's not happy. That's when your man goes quiet.
Wow. And the police report? You sure there was nothing there?
Well, there was one thing, but I just wasn't sure it was worth pursuing. The blood is Rodney's blood, but as there's not much, they think that could have been caused by anything.
Okay.
Interesting fact, your man, this Rodney, he booked a flight to Costa Rica 2 weeks before, but he does not get on the plane. Also, I think he has a brother.
What do you mean you think he has a brother?
Yeah. The records are a bit unclear on that one.
Right. Any other family?
No other family, just a brother, I think, who lives in Maine. His name is Brian Mealog. He's a lawyer at an airbase in Bangor. Here are his details.
Thanks.
As soon as I get home, I send an email to the address Dietrich gave me of Rodney's brother. It's a long shot, but I say I'm interested in trying to help find Rodney. It all sounds a little far-fetched or untrue even, but my instinct is compelling me to solve this thing. And if it is a ruse, well, I want to expose it. That evening, I stay up trying to figure out what could have happened to Rodney. Usually I need to see photos, visit the scene, and absorb the life of the person in order to receive the right information to solve the case. I open the folder Dietrich gave me and flick through it. There are 3 photos of Rodney. He looks like a nice bloke, about 5'10", blonde hair, glasses, wearing jeans and a sweatshirt, nice smile. He's standing outside what I assume is his house, opening the mailbox. I wonder who took this photo, and why. The next image is one of him in a high school basketball team, standing at the back, looking away from the camera. And then the last image is a photo of him on an old MySpace account. I close my eyes and wait. Nothing comes. This is usually a sign that nothing will come and that I can't help with the case. I fall asleep, thinking I may have to let this one go. In the morning, I check my emails. Nothing. So I go for my morning run to clear my head and see if any visions or thoughts come. Again, nothing. Now at this point, this is where I usually let cases go. You can't force things like this. So I get home and I go to ring Miranda, but I see an email come through. I open it. It's from Brian, Rodney's brother. It simply says, "I am in Grover's Mill. If you want to help find the truth, come meet me. I can't say any more over email." And that was it. I decide that it's not the case for me, so I write back to Brian. I tell him that I hope they do find his brother and that I'll forward the details onto some ex-detective buddies of mine in New York, but I say that I can't personally handle the case, not least because nothing has come to me. I wait a couple of hours for a reply, but nothing comes. So I head to watch the football with my pal Mike. Mike, by coincidence, is an Orson Welles nut, so at half-time, at the bar, I talk to him about the case. As usual, I record the conversation.
And so they think this guy might have some unreleased recording of Orson Welles from War of the Worlds or something that is valuable and that's why he's gone missing. I mean, it sounds totally ridiculous to me. I mean, there's a million other more logical reasons for people going missing. Do you know anything about it?
What, the recording thing?
Yeah.
No, not really. Although having said that, I was talking to this one guy last year about some stuff a guy named Keith Burns had. Apparently he was a friend of Olsen's and he had these manuscripts and continuity notes and stuff, and he said that there was some recordings, film ideas mostly, so I wonder if it's got something to do with that.
Could be. But would it really be worth $1 million or enough to kidnap or kill someone?
Could be, I suppose. Depends what it is and who's buying. I don't know. Do you want me to ask round?
No, I've dropped the case. I don't think I can help.
Fair enough. Does that mean you can turn that thing off now? We can get back to the game?
Mike and I get back to the game. We lose on penalties, by the way. I check my phone and notice there's an email from Brian. Apart from his understandable disappointment, he attaches 2 photos for me. One is black and white, and is of a middle-aged man in uniform, US Air Force, I think, standing next to none other than Orson Welles. It could be the 1960s, I'm guessing. The other is a press clipping of a woman holding onto a winning Lotto America ticket. It's then that I suddenly start feeling nauseous. I would describe the sensation as acid reflux with a headache chaser. I close my eyes and I see an image of Rodney in a car, talking to someone. I can't make out who it is, but they're talking. Then the car stops and a worried look comes over Rodney's face. Water fills the car. He starts drowning. I email Brian straight away. I'm in.
So, here I am at Newark Liberty Airport after a delayed but otherwise uneventful flight from Heathrow. I've got to admit, agreeing to meet Brian feels like a major spur-of-the-moment decision, but the vision I got was a strong one, so here I am. Now, Brian offered to pick me up, and he said he'd be wearing black jeans and a New England Patriots cap. And that might be him now. Are you Brian?
I'm Wilkie, hi.
Oh, hey.
Brian is much younger than I'd imagined. We walk to an old yellow VW Beetle and get in.
Sorry for the cryptic email. I just don't trust anyone these days. I needed to know for sure you were the real deal.
Are you okay if I record this?
Sure, as long as you don't show my face.
No, it's only audio.
Do you mind if I put on some music?
Sure, why not?
Brian plays a song I haven't heard before. But I can't help thinking it's not the song choice I was expecting.
So, tell me about Rodney.
We both grew up in Portland, Maine, where I still live, but when our parents got divorced, I was 8 and Rodney was 14. Rodney moved in with our mom. That's when we kind of did our own thing, took different paths. I don't know. I don't like talking about this because it's like he's gone, and like I know he's gone somewhere, but I don't think he's dead. I'd rather just find him and put this mess behind us.
Brian seems agitated and morose. I guess I would be too if my brother just vanished. Brian continues to tell me about their childhood, about how they had to swap parents every 2 weeks and that they were never in the same house again after the divorce, about how their interests were different. Brian wanted to join the military, and Rodney was a bit of a dropout and eventually did hairdressing. They talked probably every couple of months, and soon with Rodney wanting to get out of his hometown, he moved to Grover's Mill in 2001. Brian says he visited twice, but then got caught up with his own life, and once Rodney was married, they lost contact.
You know, our lives just changed. I did what I did, he did what he did. I think he wanted to have kids. That was the saddest part. His wife, she never wanted to.
At this point, we reached the Crown Plaza Hotel in Princeton. Even though Miranda kindly offered to put me up, it seems inappropriate somehow. I'd call her once we checked in, though. Brian and I agreed to meet for breakfast, pay a visit to Miranda, and then drive past Rodney's house. We'd heard reports that the house was sealed while the investigation was in progress, but Brian seemed to think we could get around that somehow. How he would do that, I had no idea. I meet Brian early the next morning, and we grab a coffee at the Grover's Mill Coffee Company in Princeton. Brian seems overly enthusiastic and has a glint in his eye.
So, change of plans, Wilkie.
Hey, aren't we going to see Miranda?
Later. First, we're going to meet up with Benji, Rodney's co-worker. Rodney apparently always left a key with him, so I figure we get the key, then go do some snooping and see if he gets some visions, right?
But, Brian, you're a lawyer. Surely you know that's illegal.
I'm a JAG with the Air National Guard. I plead ignorance. Well, at least I think I do.
Right, so at this juncture, I'm starting to get a little bit concerned. It's not legal to enter a property that's been sealed, and part of me, the inquisitive, rebellious part, wants to get into Rodney's house. I figure that as he's his brother, well, then there must be some legal grounds, and then I quickly dismiss this as foolish.
I'm not sure, Brian.
Okay, let's go talk to Benji at least and see.
So I agree to go and talk to Benji, and hope he doesn't have a key. We drive along the winding road through Princeton into the heart of Grover's Mill, and we pull up outside a hair salon.
Are you ready?
Let's do this. Hello? Hello?
It's early, and there are no customers yet. A man approaches us.
Morning, gents. Here for a cup?
He looks like a pumped-up, steroid-taking gym bunny with tattoos, short-cropped hair, and a neatly manicured beard. We walk up, shake hands, and Brian gets straight to it.
We're here to see Benji.
Hi, I'm Benji.
Oh, hey, Benji, I'm Brian, Rodney's brother, and this is Wilkie, a forensic psychic.
Hi.
Okay.
We wanted to get into Rodney's house to see if we can get anything of interest. Wow, your arms are huge, man. How much do you press?
I don't know.
Okay, well, I heard Rodney left you a key.
Uh-huh.
Do you have a key?
Might do.
Look, if you're uncomfortable, it's okay. We can go.
Oh, it's cool, I guess.
Could we have the key, Benji?
Are you gonna tell the police?
No, we just want to get in and out.
Well, is that okay by them?
Benji's right. We shouldn't do this. Thanks for your time.
No, he's my brother. We can't leave him out there wherever he is. He might be tied up. He could be in a basement with no heating. He could be getting a finger chopped off by the Yakuza. No.
Whoa. Look, seems to me like a relation reserves the right to investigate the whereabouts of kin, given the moral imperative to ensure that kin is okay. And once that is established, some normality may be able to be restored to all those involved.
Yeah.
Which begs the question if the moral imperative does in fact overrule the social and criminal one. And in this case, it would appear to me that given we are not in a court of law, but are of sound mind and body, and given the appropriate authorities have had enough time to properly deal with this matter and failed to do so, that there is no choice for me other than to give you the key. So here you are.
What Benji just said kind of came out of nowhere. I wasn't sure if it was a joke, or if it was something he just did, or if it was real and he meant it. In any case, he handed me the key. And in that moment, I knew I'd crossed a line. But part of me didn't care, because a bigger part of me wanted to get into that house.
Is there anything else you can tell us about Rodney's disappearance?
Well, sometimes a man can be more than one person, if you know what I mean.
No, what do you mean?
I'm just saying, gentlemen, man, we are complicated creatures. We have the shadow. We live in it and out of it. And well, don't judge a book by its cover.
Okay.
Rodney's a special human being, right? We're all special and unique.
Yeah, sure.
That's all I'm saying. Okay?
Okay.
We get back to the car and drive through Grover's Mill, past the shops, the town, the people, and I wonder what Orson Welles would make of all this now. What would he think about this mystery that had crept into the town he apparently chose at random to be the setting of his famous radio play? I kind of feel like an invader myself, an alien of sorts, coming to this town with different intentions. Rodney Street is a beautiful tree-lined road with 2-story houses on either side. We reach the end of the street where we see a house hidden by trees and foliage. This is Rodney's house.
So, this is it.
As Brian walks up to the front door, someone else comes out of it. We're both taken aback, and then realise it's 2 police officers. They're reinforcing some police tape before spotting us.
Can I help you?
Oh, hi. I'm Brian Melog, Rodney Melog's brother. I just wanted to come into the house to get a few things.
Sorry, sir, it's off limits until the scene is cleared. Right now, I can't let anyone in.
Is there a reason it's off limits?
At this point, the female officer takes over.
I'll take it from here, Sergeant. Sir, I'm going to ask you to go on your way.
I'm just a friend trying to help out. Can I ask who you guys are?
I'm Captain Nancy Dearmore, and this is Sergeant Ellery. And you are?
I'm a friend.
Well, I'm sorry. You'll have to be on your way.
We just want to look around. I mean, this is Rodney's brother.
I understand that, sir. We all want to do a lot of things.
Yeah, a lot of strange things, right?
Right.
But sometimes they don't make a lot of sense, you know? You can step over the line, right?
Right. At ease, Sergeant. So, sir, we can't let anyone in, family or not.
Shit. What is going on? You don't seal a scene for a missing person, do you?
You're the detective.
Psychic, Brian.
So are you getting anything?
No, I need to be in the house.
Well, let's come back later. They can't be on duty all night.
Brian and I drive off and decide that we'll come back at night. I call Miranda, and she asks us to come over for lunch.
Why, hi, y'all. About time. Come here. We be eating out the back.
We head out the back and see a rustic table set with platters of barbecued meats and corn. Miranda's husband, Dirk, sits at the table. He's a small man in his early 70s and has withering tattoos on each arm. He gets up to greet us.
Pleased to meet you, Mr. Poe.
Wilkie, please. And likewise, thanks for having us.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys found Rodney yet?
Miranda doesn't waste any time getting to the point.
Not yet, but we're working on it.
He's a good kid, you know. I'm hoping he's just tied up in some hotel in Vegas in some closet, you know, like a pretty trick gone wrong. Then he's just gonna wake up and walk out into the street in his underpants and give us a goddamn call, goddamn right now.
Yeah, let's hope so.
He'd be a good kid, all right.
Well, that would be good. Great. We just want to find him.
Yeah.
Yep, that would be good.
There's something about the way Dirk is peering at Brian that unsettles me. Can I ask what you guys think happened?
I told you, Welker, we just don't know. Nothing ever happens in this town. We be quiet types. All I can guess is that Rodney got messed up with some kind of wrong thing. Not that there be many wrong things to be caught up in down here, you know. I mean, I saw him on a Saturday. He did my foils damn good at it, too, that Rodney. Ahead now, I look like a poodle.
She got that bark, too.
Don't be real. Stop it. Anyways, I think either that ex-wife, she'd be involved in it somehow, like maybe insurance or something. Or it has something to do with that alien thing.
It was a recording, a tape recording, not an alien.
Well, it still sounds odd to me. Whatever it was, we know it's missing, and we know it's worth a lot of money.
Yes, how do you know it's missing, Miranda? I've been meaning to ask.
Well, look at you, Wilkie Poe, as I live and breathe finally in my house. You look older than you sound on the phone.
There's an awkward pause, and then Dirk utters something, which catches both Brian's and my attention.
Smart dog will know.
Who?
Smart dog. He's the last person to see Rodney.
Well, that is kind of true, but the kid thinks he's some kind of big rapper. Always telling tall stories.
This smart dog, where can we find him?
Travis? Well, he be hanging out near Harrison Street on the corner most days talking garbage.
Travis is smart dog?
Mm-hmm, that him.
Rodney mentioned to Travis every now and then. I think he kind of supported and believed he could be someone someday. Sounds like he would know something.
Yeah.
And if he was the last one to see him.
Sounds like someone we need to talk to. We spend the rest of the afternoon chatting with Miranda and Dirk. They're a simple, salt-of-the-earth couple who are enjoying the later stages of life. Miranda is genuinely worried about Rodney, and Brian remains understandably morose. So as we get back into the car to head to the hotel, I make a suggestion. Want to try Rodney's place again?
I don't know. The police could still be there, right?
Well, monitored 24/7, I doubt it. Let's take a look. We head back towards Rodney's. The street lamps are now starting to flicker on, a warm amber covering the trees and the tarmac. It seems peaceful and quiet, just like the way Miranda referred to the town. We eventually pull up to Rodney's driveway, and there are no police cars or police officers in sight. We pull over to the side of the curb and just watch for a minute or two. I can feel my stomach rumbling, and I'm not sure if it's nerves or something else. I hear Brian's stomach gurgling too. You alright?
No, I actually don't feel too good.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, I think I need to go.
You need to go?
To the bathroom.
So Brian jumps out of the car and runs over to Rodney's house and squats by one of the trees. Then, just like it was meant to be, I get the runs too, and have to quickly run to another tree. By this point, I am simply levitating with anxiety. And if it couldn't get any worse, a neighbor walking his dog sees us.
Hey, you! Yo, what are you doing over there? Hey, you! I'm calling the cops!
We watch the neighbor make for his house. We take our cue, and we get back to the car clutching our stomachs. We rush back to the hotel, where we both spend the night in and out of our bathrooms. I am never eating Miranda's food again. Morning comes, and we've seen through the worst of it. Getting into Rodney's house has become my main mission, but both Brian and I agree that we will leave it for the time being. So instead, we decide to focus on Smart Dog. We walk along the street looking for anyone who matches his description that's maybe on the corner rapping or trying to sell demos, but it's pretty empty, not many people around. We pop into an ice cream shop and ask the lady behind the counter if she knows anything. Hi, excuse me, we're looking for a guy named Travis, or Smart Dog. Apparently he spends a lot of time around here.
Smart Dog?
Yeah.
You mean the kid who thinks he's straight out of Compton?
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen him, but not today. You tried the music studio next door?
No.
You want a chocolate sundae?
No. We head next door and walk up a flight of stairs to a big red door. We can hear music thumping on the other side. We walk into the studio and see the receptionist sitting behind a desk. She's chewing gum and is engrossed in something on her phone. Hi, we're trying to find Travis. Smart Dog?
You friends of his or something?
Yes.
Oh, okay. He's like in a recording now. You can go right in and sit in the viewing area if you want.
Great, thanks. She walks us into a control room. A guy who appears to be Smart Dog is in the booth with an engineer and some friends. He's a lackadaisical-looking kid, about 19, shaved head, very pale, looks stoned.
Intelligence is of a central kind with an agency vibe, and they say we don't mind. Power greater than man's desire, like sheep to the slaughter. You're next in line. The ethereal gold consumes my mind like a beast in the jungle. You're next in line. Ethereal, immaterial, ethereal, immaterial, yo. Now hold on, man. No, this beat ain't right.
Smart Dog says he wants to take a break. We wave to him through the window, and he motions to join him outside.
Hi, Smart Dog. My name's Wilkie Poe, and this is Brian Melog, Rodney's brother.
Hey.
We're just wondering if you had a few minutes to have a chat about Rodney. Is it okay if I record this, by the way?
Yeah, that's cool. What do you want to know about Rodney?
Is missing.
Man, everybody know that. He go off sometimes, you know?
But he's been gone for a while now, and it seems like there are a few things that just don't add up.
Yeah, I know. That could be weird and all that for sure.
You two were friends?
Mm-hmm. We hung out a little, you could say.
When was the last time you saw him?
Man, we were chilling out 3 weeks ago on a Thursday, I think it was. Like he was helping me with some beats, you know? Like I got this one song I used this intro on from this guy Rodney's mad obsessed with.
What guy? Do you know his name?
Man, I don't know, some old guy. I can play it you now if you like.
Smart Dog searches through his phone, then puts it on speaker. I'll play you what we heard.
Here, check it. Listen to this, man.
We know now that in the early years of the 20th century, this world was being watched closely by
Intelligences.
greater than man's.
Greater than man's.
Across an immense ethereal gulf. Minds that are to our minds.
Your minds, yo.
Are to the beasts in the jungle.
Beasts in the jungle, yo.
Vast, cool, and unsympathetic. Regarded this earth envious eyes.
Thank you.
And surely drew their plans against us.
True their plans, man.
Isn't that Orson Welles?
Man, I don't know the guy's name, dude, but I like his passion. You feeling me?
Did he give it to you?
Yeah, man. Like I said, Rodney's obsessed with the dude. There's more too, but Rodney keep that on a lock and key, man. Know what I'm saying? We never get to use that bit. He's like super protective.
So, you say you saw him on that Thursday and he played you some of this recording?
Yeah, that's right.
And then you were going to think about how you could use it?
Uh-huh. And then he just like disappeared, man. Oh, apart from the VM I got.
VM?
Yeah, you know, voicemail.
You got a voicemail?
Yeah, you guys want to hear it?
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
Check it.
Hey, Travis. Look, man, I need you to make a copy of that thing I played you the other day. I think some people found it, and they found that I want it. And anyway, they meet me at Denny's in Bordentown at 6 p.m.
And that was it. Boom.
So what happened? Did you go?
Yeah, I went there, got there around like 5:45, stayed there till like 7.
Right.
He didn't show up. So I call, it goes to voicemail. That's the last I heard
So
from him.
you have no idea where it could be?
Nah, man. Hey, you been to his house and all?
No, we can't get in there just now. Did you make a copy of these recordings by any chance?
Yeah, man. It's all on Rodney's laptop. You hear me? Hearing that thing all the time, but you the detective. You figure it out.
Well, the forensic psychic, actually.
Yeah, whatever.
Thank you for your time. If we need anything else, can we get in touch?
Yeah, man. I'll be here.
Come on, dude.
Every day. All day, every day.
Get back in there, man.
With that, we thank Travis, a.k.a. Smart Dog, and head back to the hotel. Both Brian and I knew that we needed to get into the house and find Rodney's laptop as soon as possible. Just hoping it wasn't in an evidence box somewhere. Next time on Grover's Mill.
Do you know exactly what the paintings were of and who painted them?
Not really. All I know is that they were around growing up and Rodney took them when he moved out here. I can try and find out, though. Maybe there's some record somewhere in Rodney's stuff.
Okay, well, Rodney talked about a place, right, a hideout or something. You know, up there with the terracine orchards. He was always saying to me that if anything strange happened, or if he had a down day, he would go up there.
The caller further advised us that Rodney had in his possession some photographs and that he had on occasion told friends and acquaintances that these photographs could potentially be some kind of groundbreaking news. Prior to finishing the phone interview, the caller further stated that Rodney had taken out life insurance and told everyone that if he ever went missing, that it wouldn't be an accident.
Right, and did you believe that?
We get situations like this all the time. False callers, false missing persons. So no, we looked into it, but no one confirmed any of it.
Grover's Mill is written and produced by Matt Cohen-Gold, Garrett Dupes, and me, Wilkie Poe. Music and sound design is by Matt Sladen, with special thanks to Rupert Degas and Amy Horn. We'd also like to thank Megan Tate, Mark Luhack, Barry Stewart, Marcus Beer, Stephen Busatil, Zan St. Pierre, and Anya Dolganova. This has been a Grover's Mill production, copyright 2018. Grover's Mill is a fictional podcast that is shared with you as a satire and parody. It depicts entirely fictitious situations that are products of the writer's imaginations. The podcast references familiar places and events, and whilst we have also used some real-life personalities, the characteristics, qualities, and actions that we've applied to those people are not intended to be real. We also do not suggest any association with or sponsorship by any person or entity. All other names, characters, and incidents portrayed in this production are fictitious. No identification with actual persons, living or deceased, places, buildings, and products is intended or should be inferred. For further information on Grover's Mill and its use in satire, parody, and fiction, please read the disclaimer on our website, groversmillpodcast.com.